We're back with another monthly roundup, and let me tell you, August is absolutely stacked. We've got legendary remakes making their comeback, some unique indie games, and a few surprises that honestly caught me off guard. Starting us off at number 10 is Mafia: The Old Country, and honestly, I'm surprised this isn't getting more buzz. We're going back to the early 1900s Sicily with Enzo Favara as he gets pulled into a Terroristi crime family, and the atmosphere looks incredible. What's got me interested is how they're leaning into the period setting. We're taking stiletto blades, Lupara shotguns, getting around on horseback instead of sports cars. It's a completely different vibe from the usual Mafia games, and sometimes going backwards in time is exactly what a series needs. Plus, if you're into heavy narrative experiences about family and sacrifice, this should scratch that itch perfectly.
But the hand that guides it.
You can't beat me, Carlos.
Now this one's weird, and I mean that in the best way possible. Dragon Drive is Nintendo getting experimental again with a 3-on-3 sports game that uses the Joy-Con 2 controllers like computer mice. Yeah, you heard that right. You're literally sliding both controllers around to drive and flicking your wrists to shoot. Look, I know it sounds gimmicky, but remember when Wii Sports sounded ridiculous on paper? Sometimes Nintendo's weirdest ideas end up being the most fun. Plus, there's this global jam event the weekend before launch where everyone jumps online together. It's a Switch 2 exclusive, so if you picked up the new console, this might be the perfect game to show it off to friends.
The latest in 3-on-3 sports is on the way.
Coming in at number 8, we have Sword of the Sea from Giant Squid, the same folks who made Abzu and The Pathless. If you've played those games, you already know what you're getting into. Gorgeous visuals, chill vibes, and gameplay that's more about the journey than the destination. This time, you're riding a hover sword across these massive waves of sand and water, pulling off tricks while exploring this dreamlike world. The whole premise is about restoring a lost ocean, which sounds both beautiful and kind of chill. It's the type of game I could see myself playing after a stressful day. Echoes of the End might be flying under the radar, but it's got my attention. You play as Rin, who was apparently this powerful vestige, teaming up with scholar Abram Finley to rescue her brother and uncover some conspiracy. The Iceland-inspired fantasy setting looks absolutely stunning. We're talking proper cinematic visuals with motion capture performances. What sets this apart is the cooperative abilities between the two characters. It's not just button mashing combat, you're solving environmental puzzles together and combining your skills in creative ways. For anyone who misses those story-heavy adventures where characters actually matter, this could be the sleeper hit of the month. The team behind Streets of Rage 4 is back with Shinobi Art of Vengeance, and the art style alone has me sold. This hand-drawn 2D platformer puts you in the role of Joe Masashi, fighting against some cyber corporation called ENE across a dozen plus stages. Here's what I love about this approach. Instead of trying to modernize everything with 3D graphics, they're doubling down on what made classic Shinobi games special. Katana combat, shuriken throwing, ninjutsu abilities, all wrapped in this gorgeous animated package. If you pre-order the digital deluxe edition, you get early access, which honestly might be worth it just to play this a few days sooner. Lost Soul Side has been in development for what feels like forever, but it's finally dropping on August 29th. You're playing as Kaiser, trying to save his sister Louisa from these dimensional invaders, with the help of teammates like Arena, who's apparently an alien dragon hybrid because why not? This is one of those games that wears its Final Fantasy influences on its sleeve, with super stylish combat and weapon swapping combos that look absolutely insane. The fact that they delayed it from May to August specifically for polish gives me hope that we're getting something special here. Kirby's back with Star-Crossed World, which is basically the definitive edition of Forgotten Land for the Switch 2. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Do we really need another version of this game from 2022? But hear me out. This isn't just a lazy port. We're getting a brand new story where Kirby has to deal with a meteor-struck world using new mouthful modes, plus the graphics and frame rate improvements you'd expect on the new hardware. And if you already own the original, there's an upgrade pack so you're not paying full price again. For anyone who's been craving a good farming sim, Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar is looking like the comfort food in video game form. You're in Zephyr Town, doing the usual farming sim stuff, growing crops, raising animals, crafting goods. But the twist is this weekly bazaar where you run your own stall. What's really exciting is that this is the first Story of Seasons game with full voice acting.
Had to live here.
You got guts taking on a tough job like that.
That might not sound huge, but it's one of those changes that makes everything feel more alive and personal. Whether you're on Switch, the Switch 2, or PC, this looks like the perfect game to get lost in for dozens of hours. Coming in strong at number 2 is Gears of War Reloaded. This is how you do a remaster right. We're talking full 4K, 120 FPS in multiplayer, cross-play, cross-progression, plus all the post-launch content from the original 2006 game. PlayStation 5 players are getting haptic feedback and adaptive trigger support, which honestly sounds perfect for chainsaw bayonet action. There's literally no excuse not to jump into the world of Sarah. Sometimes you just want to rev up the chainsaw and solve your problems the Marcus Phoenix way. Taking the top spot is Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, and if you've been waiting for the perfect excuse to experience the story, this is it. This isn't just throwing some filters on a PS2 game. They've completely rebuilt it with modern visuals, 3D audio, and this battle damage system that shows wear and tear on Snake's gear in real time. The standard edition gets you the base game, plus a white tuxedo bonus, while the deluxe edition includes 48-hour early access starting on August 26. Look, if you've never played what many consider Kojima's masterpiece, or if you want to experience it again with modern tech, this is going to be special.
That guy? No, he's close. Where did he go?
Before we wrap this up, let's give some love to 5 more August releases that deserve your attention. First up is Kato's Post Office, and yes, you deliver mail as a cat. It's only about an hour long, but sometimes you just need something wholesome and adorable. You can open packages, leave paw prints everywhere, and there's this sweet little mystery about a forgotten birthday. Fallen City Brawl brings back the classic beat-em-up energy with pixel art that actually looks good. 4 different fighters, 7 stages of urban chaos, and the combat system lets you pull off combos, counters, and these screen-clearing riot moves. Local co-op makes this perfect for some couch gaming with friends. Strategy fans, this one's for you. Shields of Loyalty is a hex-based tactical RPG with over 160 units across 4 factions. It's been in early access for 4 years, which usually means the developers actually listen to feedback. Terrain effects really matter here. Forests help with evasion, but slow you down. Lava fields can ruin your day. It's the kind of game where one bad move haunts you forever. Ever wanted to run a supermarket? Discounty lets you inherit your aunt's rundown shop and turn it into an empire. You're designing aisles, negotiating with vendors, and dealing with the locals in this harbor town called Blomcast. It's got that cozy life sim vibe where you can befriend or completely anger the townsfolk depending on your business practices. Finally, Particle Heart sends you into this mysterious world made entirely of particles. You get abilities to manipulate your surroundings, solve puzzles, and the story intentionally keeps you guessing about who's friend or foe. It's a debut from Underwater Fire Games, and sometimes those smaller studios create the most memorable experiences. Which of these games has you most excited? Drop a comment below because I genuinely want to hear what's on your radar.